Hi everyone! Welcome to Ask Amy and Rosie. I'm Rosie.
And I'm Amy, and we're super excited to be answering some of your questions this month. Shall we dive right in?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Mika asks, how much do you guys actually practice every day? Not as in how much we should practice as a beginner, but how much do you practice as a professional player? As a guitarist, I used to practice 4 to 6 hours a day, but after many years, now only 2 to 3 hours is enough. Do I have to tell the truth?
You have to tell the truth. I'd say the answer changes based on what's going on and what I have in my life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How much have you practiced today?
Not at all.
I did like 20 minutes before we recorded that video.
You did. And I was practicing my voice. Yeah. It depends. It really entirely depends. I occasionally get really into like different types of practice depending on what I'm doing. When I know I have a show coming up, I will be really intentional about practicing my songs and snippets of my songs and maybe even full set lists, and I will spend at least 2 hours probably doing that when I'm like in the run up to a show. And then occasionally I get really inspired and I'm just super eager about learning specific things. Like most recently, as if you watched the last episode, you already know, I was practicing a lot about improvisation, practicing improvising without speeding up, making nice melodies, all of that kind of stuff. And there was a little period of time where I was spending a couple of hours a day on that. When I've got routine, when I'm actually at home, because we both travel so much, it's difficult. But when I'm actually at home, I do have a good chunk of time in the mornings as well where I play. It's not necessarily practice, but it is just kind of playing and staying lubricated, I was going to say. It's not the word I'm looking for. Limber, thank you. But I have no set routine.
I have no set routine. I guess to zoom out from your question a little bit more, like I work professionally as a handpan player, but also as a kind of percussionist, multi-instrumentalist, which does require me to, one day I might be playing like marimba, the next day they might want me to play drum kit, and more I'm like, maybe handpan. So to that end, I try and like cover most instruments at some point in a like practice cycle, let's say. In my optimum world, I'm playing like something using my hands every day, something using sticks every day, and like working out my like harmony melody every day. In reality, there is no way.
I think our lives are quite different from, and this hasn't been true for you always, but our lives are quite different from a standard like touring musician or performing artist. We are performing artists, but we're predominantly teachers as well. I suppose you do a lot more performing than me. Okay, I can speak for myself. I'm predominantly a teacher as well, and I'm actually nowadays predominantly an editor.
You spend most of your time plugging things into other music and why isn't it working?
Yeah, so my life as a working musician looks a lot more, you know, I've put many hours in when I was a beginner and when I was intermediate, and every now and then when I've got this time and space to really go into it. But actually, a lot of what I'm doing is the other stuff.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when I was studying, I was playing 9-10 hours a day. Like, some of that is specific practice, but there's also playing. You know, if we're jamming together, we might not be practicing, but we're playing, we're enjoying. If I'm performing in a theatre show every day, I'm playing music, but I might not be practicing. So I guess it's finding the intentional spots of where you're actually stretching yourself and you're developing a skill. You're doing something that you couldn't do before you started the session, or you're consolidating. And that's the thing that I have less time for. I have a lot less time for kind of exploring and going deep. I try and maintain things, but yeah, it's the joy of our lives, I suppose, is both of us often will have a day where I should be doing emails, I should be editing this, I should be doing that, but if I am able to just latch onto that inspiration, I can, you know, find that time to dive in, and that's where we're so lucky with the shapes of our lives more. But it's just remembering that when I'm answering the 17,000th email, that does feel really pressing.
Yeah.
So The answer is not as much as I want, and I don't know if that's inspiring or upsetting. So that full-time musicians also don't have as much time to practice as we want. But all it is just making the most out of the time that you do have and enjoying the time that you do have.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be said for just play and just maintenance, as you put it. It is, if you are just picking your instrument up at least for 5 minutes every single day just for a bit of playfulness, then that is enough to keep you going. If you stop playing for, I notice it even after a few days, you know, at this point, if you just stop and go cold turkey and then come back, it takes a while to get back into things.
To get the rev back up.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Mika, for that question.
Good question.
It's a really good one.
A little too much honesty came out. We answered the question. How much do you actually practice every day? I would say between 0 and 30 minutes a day is the truth.
It could be anywhere between 0 and 4 hours.
Yeah. But actual practice, about half an hour, let's say.
Yeah.
Oopsie. But you should do more. Right. Hi fellow friends, I just bought my second handpan, a low pygmy scale, which really resonates with me. And I was wondering if I should sell my first D-curd, as I will be playing less on that handpan. Any advice or experience from Veronique? I direct you to this side of Amy's studio as an answer to that question. Once the bug bites, it bites you hard.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I have ideas in my head and I want to be able to play them on the handpan. And for me, having more instruments allows me more flexibility to do more things. Playing on a D-curd is always going to flow differently from an F-low pygmy. It's going to flow differently from a Celtic or etc. So the devil on your shoulder most definitely is telling you, keep them both, like you'll find time to use them. And you will find on this site and on other kind of handpan learning places, there is a lot of tutorials on a D-curd.
Yeah.
So being able to follow along with the teacher and do exactly what they do and make the exact same sounds, it can be helpful. And then you can always apply that stuff to your F-low pygmy. But obviously handpans are incredibly expensive, and if you need to sell one to free up money for any other thing, completely understandably, then yeah, do it. Like, playing a handpan that you love is the most important thing. Like, what resonates with you, your favourite is going to be different from our favourites, from everyone's favourites. So yeah, the angel says, you know, get rid of it, free up some space on your cupboard for some books or whatever. But I think they're the two kind of sides. I would say keep it, but I'm very biased.
I think it's not the end of the world if you do sell it.
Of course.
You know, because if you're in a position where you've got a D-curd, you're getting an F-low pygmy, you're obviously able to find and get hold of instruments. So it could be that if you do need to sell, even if you don't need the money right now, but it just gives you a little bit of comfort and ease so that you can actually enjoy playing your instrument, then there might be a time in the near future when you can get hold of another one instead. Or you could get an extended version of the D-curd or whatever. I think that, you know, handpans come and go often. It's quite a common experience, especially in the early years of handpan, is that obviously people can only really afford one instrument, and so a lot of people would swap instruments or sell for another or whatever. It's a very common thing, I think. Yeah,
and they somehow find their way back back around.
Yeah, I think it's totally down to whatever your experience is at the moment. Only you can make that decision.
Yeah, there is no wrong answer on that one.
Yeah.
And handpans love to be played. So if you have a beautiful instrument that for whatever reason is not resonating with you, like, I think you should feel good about being able to pass that back into the community and share that on. Like, yeah, of course you'll get some money back, but it may also mean that somebody else who couldn't afford their first handpan is kind of jumping in on that level as well. So I think the flow, thinking of it as a flow is such a good way to think of it.
Or if you feel able and trusting, you could loan it to a friend. That's something that I have far too many instruments, and something that I do is let friends have one for, you know, an extended period of time when I'm not using them. And that makes me feel good that I'm not just wasting a beautiful handpan and it's sitting on a shelf going dusty.
Yeah.
It's actually getting love. Cool.
Good question.
Okay, so Rachel asks, I have a Celtic B minor Rav and it's quickly becoming like a friend to me. My intention with the instrument is to learn and create meditative music for myself and to also share with others. in yoga and medicine spaces. With this in mind, do you have any recommendations for masterclasses or pathways that can help playing in a calming and grounding space? Yeah. Martin Martins is probably a really good place to start. He has a very meditative approach. I'm not sure about the pathways.
I'm not sure, yeah. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any pattern that you like, you can just play it a little bit slower. So, like, if you found a pattern that's, you know, it's quite busy, it's got a lot of, like, knocks and slaps and bumps, if you strip away that speed and you strip away the percussion, you may find inside that pattern is actually a simpler meditative pattern. So if you already know something that you like to play but it's too busy for a yoga studio or a session, see if you can tweak that pattern and start to slow it down and take away some of those bells and whistles, and you might find kind of like an archaeologist underneath. It's a brand new pattern that's really appropriate for the situation.
Yeah, I think basically probably anything from David C. or David K's beginner course would be really good.
Really good. The cookbook has some good bits from
David
K.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all great, but like some could be really chill things for this.
Yeah, there'll be loads of stuff in there.
You've got some nice patterns in yours.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, my course is kind of all about launching you off to find your own meditative patterns.
We didn't even think of that when we were thinking of answers to this question.
We have our own courses on this, on this academy.
I mean, Mumi, Dan, anybody, Alex, like, I think most patterns are most teachers are gonna have some patterns in there that resonate with you.
But I think the key thing is once you learn a pattern, not to just learn it the way that they play it and think either, yes, this is good, or this doesn't do what I want it to do, but to take it and immediately apply that creative thinking. Okay, say I was at a yoga class tomorrow and I had to play for 15 minutes in the relaxation.
So true.
How can I make this relevant for that?
Yeah.
And just practice that muscle. And you could challenge yourself. You could try that exercise, learning a pattern and then applying it to a theoretical yoga class. And you could get progressively more and more complex patterns
That's
that
a good idea.
aren't correct for yoga.
And then strip them back.
And then make them work for that setting. It is possible.
We never play handpan in these videos anymore, do we?
Would you like to demonstrate?
Well, maybe. If we have I don't know, what could we have? A kind of... Like, this has got a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
So if I kind of come to the core of that pattern, this can stay, but I find the slap a lot, right? And now, so if I take the slap away, but I leave everything else in the same space I had, no slap, slow it down, maybe just changing some of those repeated notes. Different notes. Like, it's quite different from but you can see how it's like shares the same. So yeah, taking those steps and the steps that you might take to strip that same pattern down are going to look different, but it's the same core, but it's just coming out in a completely different way. Yeah.
You can even fast stuff can still have a very trance-like and meditative aspect to it. So say the pattern is, I don't know, something very groovy, right? And you wanted to somehow make that meditative. Again, strip it down to its fundamentals. Actually, it's got a really nice heartbeat, boom boom thing to it. And then change the texture of that so it doesn't feel abrasive anymore. You know, you can use your hand in such a way that you're mellowing out that sound. You can play a knock instead of a slap. And then you can still bring the other aspects back, but just do it in such a way. play it for long enough, it becomes very trance-like, and it's not aggressive, it's not too funky, it's not in your face. It's still the same thing, you're just playing it in a different way, you're just playing it texturally different.
Or take that pattern and play it and change the knockout for any of your notes around the edge. Right? Exactly. Again, it's the same heartbeat, but it's just making it maybe a little even smoother and more relaxing. Because when you're playing for meditation or you're playing for yoga, you want to get rid of those harsh transitions. So if somebody's feeling super relaxed and you're moving between two patterns, it's just trying to find the way to soften it through so that the listener almost doesn't notice that you've changed patterns and changed ideas. So when you play for a long time and you're moving between two ideas, I guess it's just finding even a really simple way to move. So what was your pattern? This kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have this idea. I'm just going to kind of slow it down. So finding like that other tension point, which I think often beginners find of moving between two patterns. Once you've got two patterns that work meditatively, in order to be able to play for a whole yoga class, you need to find some ways to get through them, between them. So maybe that's slowing one down, speeding another up. But finding those transition points is a really great exercise as well.
And finding as many ways as possible to stay on the same pattern. Is an even bigger thing, I think, because if you can stay in the same pattern for longer, there's definitely no switching attention. But, how do you make that? I guess with yoga classes, the point kind of is to be boring because people want to be relaxed, they don't want to be listening, right? But you don't want to get bored.
Yeah.
So how can you find as many tiny, minuscule little things? Whether that's tempo changes, dynamic changes, texture changes, one note is different, you add a little thing here, you take one thing away there, and you're really specific about, and it's only one thing at a time, you change this one aspect. Like if your melody is, for instance, this. Maybe isn't very yoga.
Could be.
Right? You can stay here for long, or then you can start to change one thing. So maybe I'll change the top note. Just once. I could do that, another 4 times before needing to move. Just by adding one or changing one aspect of melody, everything else can stay the same and it still feels like it's moving so much.
So true, yeah. This is something that we talk about in, like, when we jam together. If we're playing together and we've agreed on a reality between us, if Amy changes like a massive thing and suddenly she's changed like the speed of it and we're playing really fast, but I didn't know that, like suddenly we're not going to be in alignment. So instead, if one of us wants to change something, it's making a small step. So it would be, let's say in that case, getting it a tiny bit faster, then I'd catch up, and then a tiny bit faster, and then at the end we would be, as much faster as you might have wanted it, but it means that we get to go together and it's seamless. So it's the same thing with changing a harmony, changing a melody. If you take small steps, your audience or the person you're jamming with is going to be able to take those steps with you.
But more on that on a course very soon.
Coming soon.
Can we say that?
Should we say it?
Should we say that? Edit it out if we're not allowed to say that.
Secret. If you know what secrets we're talking about, let us know in the comments.
God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Let's go. All right. Moving swiftly on. What's the next question, Rosie?
It's from Stefan. What is a good standalone audio recording device for outdoor-indoor recording? Thank you for your help.
This is one I made earlier. Do. Ta-da! This is a Zoom H4n Pro handy recorder, and the reason I like this so much, there it is. The reason I like this is that it's not too expensive. The two microphones on top are really good, really sensitive and good. It's just got a go button and it goes.
I like that.
It's battery powered.
Good.
But then if you in the future wanted to get more complex and complicated and more pro, so to speak, it also has ports for any kind of microphone, including microphones that require phantom power. Meaning they don't have their own power. So it's just a really good all-in-one thing. If you know you're not interested in that in the future, there's a really nice version of this as well that's much lighter and much cheaper that I take with me travelling, called the Zoom H1. It's the same thing but with less gadgets and gizmos. Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're, the more customizability you have, like the more different things you can do, potentially the better that you can create your audio. But if you know that you're not that interested in all of those minor details, or you're not that experienced yet, then yeah, getting something that you can grab and go is definitely good for the lazier people among us. But if you're really interested in this, or even if you don't know anything about it, check out Corner's course. I haven't looked at it yet, but I know it's going to be amazing. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking at that. So I'll give you a better answer after I've seen Connor's course. How about that?
Connor Shafran has just released, I don't even know the name of the course.
It's like recording your handpan or...
Yeah, it's all about recording
your handpan.
And production as well.
Yeah, it looks amazing, like really necessary. So
yeah. Another quick and easy microphone as well, if you're interested in just making quick videos with your phone, is the DJI Mic 2. You might see some people on social media with these little clip-on microphones. They've got transmitters and receivers so that you can plug the receiver directly into your
And they're getting really good.
And they're really good quality. We use them all the time.
Yeah, that's a little game. Go and find a video on one of our channels while we're wearing it and be like, ooh,
see
nice
if you can
mic.
find it as well. We tried to hide them. I put them on my glasses and face the other way.
I was like, where's Wally?
Find the microphone.
Boop, boop, found it. Yeah.
Yeah, standalone mics are getting way better, for sure.
Great.
Cool.
Great question, Stefan.
Thanks, Stefan. Okay, so Michelle asks, I accidentally dropped more than needed coconut oil on my handpan while applying it on the goose side. I just wiped the whole side with a microfiber cloth and then reapplied alcohol where I accidentally spilled it. Is that okay? Let me know if that works for you or what else I should do. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Probably. I think if you put more oil than needed on your instrument, it's not the end of the world. It's just not as nice to play.
Yeah, it's worse for your trousers. If it's on the goose side, just maybe beware your fanciest trousers for the next few days. And obviously just be extra careful lifting it up and putting it down. Like, if you know it's a little slippery, that's...
Yeah. I mean, when I'm playing, most of my instruments now are stainless steel. I don't even bother to oil them anymore. I used to live in a very damp place, I guess, now less so. But stainless steel are generally fine if you're wiping it down with a microfiber cloth after you play anyway. I know that's not generally the given advice, but that's just my personal experience. I don't like oil. I just don't, it just gets really sticky and gross for me. And when I first was playing handpan, I didn't realise somehow that that you need to apply alcohol before applying oil because you need to clean off the old oil if there is any left.
So you were just like swimming.
It was just getting more and more gross. And I was like, why doesn't it sound good? Why isn't it as resonant? And it's because it was caked in oil, dirt.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's fine. And alcohol is absolutely fine as long as you're drying it properly. Yeah,
I mean, a good cloth is honestly, like, having cloths everywhere within reach.
Yeah, I'm terrible for that.
It's the best thing because, you don't always know when you're going to grab the pan and put it back down. So I keep some cloths on my, like, stand where the handpans live, and it is just, anytime you remember to give it a quick once over after playing it's going to do a lot more than, it's the same as practice. A little bit often is better than a massive thing once every now and then.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like your accidental oil slip is...
It's fine.
Absolutely fine, yeah.
As long as your trousers are fine.
Brilliant.
And Shadi said, would love to learn everything about finger rolls, please.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Give us your best finger roll. You got one?
Yes.
We'll do one each, shall we? And then call it.
I'm scared. So I guess what I'm doing is 3 strokes on each finger.
Mm-hmm.
And you can either go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or sometimes I try and dovetail them together, but I can't do it.
That's hard. It's hard.
But yeah, I normally go 3 and then 3. And the sticky point is always as you transfer from one hand to another. So I would build it up super duper slow where you can get them nice and consistent. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then try and think of it in blocks of 4. So this is the way that I go through it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Because it just gets you out of thinking like this hand and this hand. So if you can start to kind of get a few different accents through, then instead of always thinking about that like join, you're actually thinking about something a little bit different. So even the first 2 steps of that are really good. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 2, 3, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What's this? 4 hours practice a day?
I think I know what I'm going to be practicing next. And then that kind of helps you to get this kind of feeling of where are your beats and how long should your finger rolls be. 1, 2, 2.
Oof. Yeah, so I, as a listener, can't tell when you're switching to the other hand because you're smoothing
Accenting,
that gap. Yeah.
That's my idea for a good finger roll.
That's good.
More practice needs. Yeah, so just to break that down one more time. It's not thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because then you're accenting the bit that we don't want them to listen to. Instead, you're trying to paper over that by accenting. I mean, you could do every 2, every 3, every 4, every 5, whatever you want to do. But ideally, you can control where the accents are and it doesn't hit that bump as you change hands.
I've never thought that deeply about those rolls before. that specific one, I've always just kind of gone, you just kind of drop your hand and let your fingers flam down. And I've never really taken the time to break that up. But the problem with that then, and the problem that I have, is that I don't have the chops to go from this slow to then like speed up gradually. There's kind of a...
Yeah, it turns into a different movement.
Yeah, exactly. It turns into a different movement and there's a bit where it kind of jumps in tempo. So I clearly don't have full control. And I was practicing this the other day with a student just on the 2 fingers. So this roll. So it's the same idea, but less of a kind of flow like this, which it feels more full. And more of a, I call this the drumstick fills. I got that from Dan Mulqueen, I think. Check out Dan Mulqueen's course for these.
Comes back to Dan,
always.
always.
he's the chops. He's the chops man. And so we were practicing the way that I kind of was a really helpful way for me to think about it is to start slow, and you can get metronome apps that gently increase tempo.
Them. Yeah.
So see if you can stay with that and start to I'm doing it quick now, but gently start to increase. Without having that, the way that I was thinking about it is, and some of you might have experienced in this, if you ever sing, you have a chest voice and you have a head voice. There's a moment where you kind of go ah, and it kind of it jumps. You get cracked.
The break in your voice, right?
Yeah.
So you go from chest
to head.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so to overcome that in vocal training, we do a lot of we're trying to like massage the part where it breaks to stop that from happening. And so I've been doing a lot of that, trying to massage the part here where I'd go from to just skipping a step.
Yeah, it's especially if you're doing a different action.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, you know, for example, supposing your single strokes are actually touching the pan, and then when you're getting fast, you're coming away and you're coming up and your elbows are coming up, because that's what gives you the speed. It's trying to find ways to have a technique which is slow down here and potentially fast while touching.
Yeah,
like that's
because
the
you want
really
a
tricky
consistent
thing.
sound.
Right.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to play at that exact BPM between that swap over.
Yeah.
It's a fun challenge of a lifetime.
And another style of roll that we haven't touched on is of course the split hand variation.
Of course, yeah.
Which I definitely recommend checking out Nadashana's course,
Kirill.
Kirill's course.
Michael probably?
Yeah, Michael's course. And I think as well, Kabe maybe touches on it in his course a little bit as well. Check out those players for that split hand.
So instead of moving these two, you're actually using your hand to get a bit more in this way.
Yeah. I think the main tip for that, I mean, I'm not an expert. The main tip on the split hand stuff is for that consistency of sound and that ease of flow, is that you want to be making sure that you've got a specific pivot point in your hand so that it just feels really comfortable. You can just kind of do that. Like I'm kind of focusing on my
outside
pointer finger, I think. My axis seems to be here. It's just kind of rotating. And that I'm going all the way so that I'm striking in the same spot.
Yeah, that's key.
So that it sounds the same.
And because you're never going to get as much action if you're splitting between here and here. There's
right.
I can't pivot as much. So instead, I'm trying to aim for a point between.
Yeah.
So for me, my axis is around here because I'm trying to get that same spot.
That makes sense.
Whereas out here, I can't. I literally can't.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I think if I'm splitting my hand between like the middle and the thumb,
right,
then the axis is the pointer finger.
I think
and
often it's between. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's the ring and the pointer, then the axis is the middle finger. And there's a lot of value in, especially for playing notes fast. I know this is kind of deviating from finger rolls, but it's all connected.
Not the thumb!
It's all the thumb rolls. It's all connected, you know? Having that rotation, regardless of whether or not you want to play fast, cool rolls and fills, actually, a split hand is just so valuable in handpan world.
So important.
For this kind of thing.
Why have two hands when you can have four?
Ooh, or maybe even 5 drumsticks?
5?
10?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Sorry, we're going off now, but like, and then when you're so if you're going to split this way,
yeah,
between your first and your thumb and your pointer, but then I want to play a third note, and I can start to bring in a triple split or up, down, down, like whatever. So I'm like doing split between my thumb and then split between my two fingers. Like that for me is so fun. Like sometimes you'll listen to me practicing and it's like she's just playing 3 notes, but I'm like ding, ding, ding. Then with the thumb. Now split this way. Now split this way. Ooh, finger, finger, finger. And I'm like so good. My housemates are like.
And this is why we only practice for 20 minutes a day, because the people around us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Really fun.
Yeah. Cool. I think, Shadi, you've opened up a whole world there.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
That's in it. Learning everything. Your wording was, would love to learn everything about finger rolls. I think that's a course.
Oh my god, I think that's every teacher. Every teacher must touch on how they play with their fingers at some point, right? Like, oh my god, yeah.
But for a quick in, I think, the one that you did was my first one as well. That 3-finger roll, I call that the lazy roll, because my method of doing it is just flopping. And then the little drumstick one.
Yeah, that's like cool. I'm going to try that after.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your questions. I think that's a good place Otherwise, we'll be here all day.
Yeah, we're getting started now.
We have to stop before we get carried away. But yeah, please do let us know what questions you have.
Mm-hmm.
Pop them in the comments here if you're watching live in the premiere.
Yeah.
Throw them at us right now.
Yes. And even if you've already asked a question, you can ask another question.
You're allowed.
We like repeat questioners.
You get gold medals, gold stars.
Yeah, if you've already asked us a question, claps.
And you might have noticed that some of the questions today were from the village. So yeah, please do help us out. Throw the questions in the Ask Amy and Rosie space or here on YouTube. We would love to answer them. It's a lot of fun for us to sit and learn from each other.
So fun.
And yeah, thanks everyone.
Have a good month.
Have a good month. See you next month is an exciting month for us, probably.
Exciting month for us, probably, potentially.
Hopefully. More on that very soon.
Bye.
Yeah, it's okay.
Red.
No.
Ah.
Yeah. No. Stop. The stop button.